At dawn, courier appears as structure mountain spines, river veins, fields stitched under mist. SONLD opens a blank leather journal. No quotations, only a witness preparing to tell what systems hide. Ink curves become mountains and rivers. Before dynasties, geography sets the terms. Old stone steps climb the ridge roots first, then rulers. Movement first, then law. The coast is calm, but the sea is always leverage, trade, exposure, and the price of openness. A temple roofline sits in Foglate Silla's stillness, with collapse already inside the silence. A cracked tile is set back. Repair becomes a metaphor, but metaphor cannot stop a system from failing. Empty stalls and flapping cloth instability without blood, yet unmistakable in the air. SONLD meets the lens. When order breaks, it breaks in routines first, then in borders. 3 stones shift on a dotted field, centers forming, competing, tightening into the next era. Sungek's valley and river plains suggest a capital, defensible, connected, hard to starve. Boat builders raise ribs of a hull because administration travels on water as much as on land. Rope bites into sailcloth. A knot is policy made physical. Hold, don't slip, don't tear. Riders pass a watchpost, no banners, no spectacle, only the daily practice of staying intact. By the pier, SONLD gestures river to inland. Whoever controls flow controls the kingdom. A crown's shadow crosses blank parchment 918, a new center, asserted with ceremony, secured with routine. In a court hall, boat is boat. Founding is not celebration. Here it is discipline taking form. Wax spreads under a ring. Authority doesn't need to shout, it needs to be repeatable. Kaesong streets emerge in mist stone walls, tiled roofs, the architecture of we will last. A leather strap tightens around the journal. Unity isn't a moment, it's something you bind and rebind. Envoys approach the gate 935. Silla yields, and the peninsula leans toward one command. Keys land on cloth, hands release, power changes hands more quietly than people expect. A fortified gate opens to caravans 936. Unification shown as access, not slaughter. 1 stone is removed, the rest cluster. The map simplifies and new problems begin. SONLD closes the journal. Unification is a choice that must survive boredom, not just crisis. In Kaesong's courtyard, officials move in line. Statcraft becomes choreography. Sealed bundles stack higher. The state grows heavy, papers without words, decisions with consequences. In council, faces lean over blank maps. Strategy is pressure management, even without labels. Grain tips, a balance. Food is policy. Policy becomes loyalty or resentment. A courier swaps horses. Speed turns a kingdom into a network instead of a rumor. In temple courtyards, incense hangs. In Goryeo, faith is not beside the state, it is inside it. Beads slide through fingers. Devotion trains, patience useful in prayer, useful in governance. A mountain monastery silhouette holds steady. Quiet places storing the loudest kind of continuity. Woodblock ink meets paper printing as infrastructure, reproduction as survival. SONLD stands under sun shafts. Belief becomes an institution when it can be organized. An inland port breathes sacks, pottery, rope. Prosperity arrives in repeated motions. Coins pour into cloth. Wealth doesn't glitter, it pools, then reshapes priorities. A scholarly hall listens. Reform is slow violence against chaos. Study, rules, exams, ranks. A brush circles a dot. Administration turns geography into a grid of responsibility. SONLD holds the lens. The kingdom is now a system and systems demand maintenance. Kill smoke rises 12th century craft peak labor refined into beauty, beauty into prestige. Clay swells between hands. Precision looks gentle, but it is strict. Inlay lines settle into grooves control so fine it becomes elegance. Celadon glows jade-green. A golden age doesn't announce itself, it simply feels inevitable. SONLD gestures. A civilization can be held in one vessel until it slips. Inside the palace, incense curls. Refinement grows. So does the distance from hardship. A lacquer box opens, then closes. Records kept close. Power kept closer. A trade ship under sail. Routes widen the world and widen the risks. Cargo knots are checked. Prosperity depends on details that don't get songs. On the quay, SONLD points seaward, then inland. Wealth is movement and movement invites rivals. A frontier fort on a ridge. Borders don't shout, they wait. Snow clears from stone. A line appears cold, makes politics honest. Delegations exchange sealed packets. Diplomacy is war without blood until it isn't. 2 seals cool side by side. Agreements are fragile precisely because they look tidy. SONLD's palm on cold rock. Borders are not ink, they're weather, hunger and memory. A winter village thins empty doors. Weak light scarcity changes a kingdom from the inside out. A hand covers the last kernels. In hardship, the future is measured in handfuls. In a temple kitchen, bowls are shared. Resilience is organized, quiet, stubborn, practical. Wax drips onto twine, orders still travel. The question is whether hope can keep pace. SONLD looks straight ahead. A system survives by discipline until discipline becomes exhaustion. A mountain depository stands like a vow, 13th century approaching, pressure tightening. Chisel curls lift from wood 1237 to 1248, carving as defense, devotion as logistics. Rows of blocks stretch deep. Scale becomes a weapon, culture multiplied so it cannot be erased. A hand wipes sawdust away. Preservation is not drama, it is care repeated. SONLD holds the journal close. When armies move, memory must move faster. Monks carry sealed boxes. The archive travels like a fragile heart in a storm. Hemp rope tightens. Every knot says, not here, not now, not lost. Rain on a mountain trail. History advances by balance, one careful step after another. A candle flickers by blank parchment. Someone steadies the page, steadying the line. SONLD faces the lens. The archive becomes the fortress because what survives defines what was. Covered barges cross tidal flats 1232. The court shifts to an island, trading pride for time. A rope line is pulled taut in wet sand. A temporary capital still performs permanence. Scholars argue under lamplight. Late Goryeo politics. Sharper debates, fewer safe choices. A seal presses wax again. Procedure continues even as confidence quietly drains. SONLD closes the journal firmly. Transitions rarely sound like thunder, they sound like a door. Rice fields ripple with labor. Dynasties pass. The land keeps teaching the same lesson. A calloused hand brushes grain. Survival is the oldest continuity in this story. Celadon rests in a window-soft glow, proof that craft can outlast politics. A temple roofline clears from mist. The archive still breathes, because someone kept it breathing. The blank journal sits on stone. A page flips once. Time turns, then insists on silence. Aerial again, mountains to coast in one glide. The peninsula is continuity wearing different names. SONLD gestures outward, driver capital, temple, Goryeo, as roots, rituals and record keeping. The braided wrist cord slips free. The anchor is released, but the pattern remains. A palace corridor recedes into candlelight. Institutions outlast people, then weaken without purpose. The candle goes out, smoke rises. Endings don't need spectacle to be final. A stone bridge silhouettes over a river bend. Stone and water keep their pact. Ripples shimmer with a Celadon green hue. Legacy becomes color-felt, not labeled. Forest canopy lifts above wooden halls. Wood, ink, time, three materials that refuse to disappear. SONLD gives a small nod. No triumph, only a witness closing the ledger of one long system. The final aerial rises. Mountains fade into coastal light. What endures is not a king, but the structure.